Hey guys, it's Windy from Windys.Art. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to draw these cute cookies in color pencil. I'll talk about how I create the cookie texture, how I layer the color to show the realistic look, and walk you through step by step how I complete this drawing. And this will also be great to draw on the Christmas card. Now if you're ready, let's get straight into it. Before drawing, I will observe the reference photo and pick up the colors I want, then try to mix it and test it out on another piece of paper to avoid mistakes. Then I start my sketch. I draw out the basic shape and mark out the frosting on the top so it's easier to preserve the white areas while coloring. Then I start drawing the cookie on the left. I first put a light layer on over the whole cookie except the frosted area, because I want to keep it as white as the paper. You can see I hold the pencil at the end so it's easier to put on a very light layer. Then I start putting a second layer around the head. In this layer, the color can be darker because I want to create the cookie's color and mix up the bottom layer as well. Then I draw out the darkest contour around the frosting so it's easier to see where to leave blanks while coloring. And I draw out the eyes and add shadows around the frosted area so it looks more 3D. Then continue adding color on the body. So the tip to create the cookie texture is to do the circular coloring, as you can see here. Notice that I color from light, then gradually add on darker shades and shadows to create the realistic look. This will also help you avoid mistake. If you color very hard in the beginning, it will be difficult to fix it afterward. While adding colors on the cookie, I also draw out the darkest contour and shadows so I can see the whole contours more clearly. And this will also create the thickness of the cookie. After that, I start adding darker shades and shadows on the cookie. In this layer, I do press harder while coloring, so kinda mix the bottom layers together. Next, I add shadows around the bottom area on the frosting so it pops out more. For the second cookie, is the similar coloring process as before. After drawing out the eyes, I draw out the darkest contours. I do use a darker tone color for the second cookie to distinguish from the first one. Then continue coloring until the second cookie is finished. For the third cookie, because it's mostly frosting on the cookie, so the key is to preserve the white areas for the frosting and add shadows to create the 3D look. I first draw out the ornament on the top, then I add shadows around the button areas. Notice that I leave a blank in between the ornament and the shadow, so it pops out more. Then I draw out the cookie under the frosting. I first put a base layer on, then add darker shades. After that, I add shadows to make it look more 3D. Next, I draw out the ornament on the top of the frosting. Same as the one on the top, I leave blank in between the ornament and the shadow. This way they pop out more, as you can see here. Then I add shadows on the frosting. If you look closely, the frosting isn't totally white. It does have very light shadows, and it's quite important to add shadows on the frosting because it will create the 3D look and the thickness to it. You can see here the one without shadows looks flat, and after adding shadows, it pops out more. Lastly, the touch-up. I like to go back to see if there's any details missing or any areas that need to be strengthened again. Now the painting is about done here. Comment below and let me know if you have any questions. And I'll list all the colors I use in the description box. Check it out if you're interested. That's all for today's video. I really hope it's helpful and if you enjoyed it. If you do, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel and ring that bell so you never miss out on my weekly art videos and tutorials. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye!